All right. We're going to work this up, get this started. Just because Friday doesn't mean I'm going to be any more happier than I normally am, which in general, I don't think I'm ever that happy. Last night, yesterday was my daughter's birthday. You know how I feel about birthdays. If you don't, go back and listen to yesterday's podcast and you get my thoughts on birthdays. Everybody just thinks I'm a grump, and I'm not a grump. So I had, you know, you got the COVID type birthday parties. There's nobody there. People not many people you've been around. My neighbor Pam and her wife, they made some pasta or stuffed shells, which were great. They made some sausages, and then it was me, my wife, my mother-in-law, and my daughter. My son was at his mom's house. He'll be here this weekend. He'll get a little joy, I guess. But even he doesn't care. I FaceTime him. He was like, "What? Leave me the fuck alone." So, but anyways, everybody's like talking to me, and they're like, "You're just a grump," and I'm like, "I'm not grumpy. I'm just set in my ways." And when things happen that don't make fucking sense to me, I have a toot. I'm like, because it doesn't make sense. I'll give you an example. Well, one thing, so my house is small. You can't even fit more than four people in my house. I have a tiny house, 900 square feet, very small house. Might even be less. Might be 800 square feet. So, anyways, we're all in the kitchen, and I have something I need to put in the trash can, and we have one of the trash cans that you step on it, and the lid goes up. But for some reason, everybody but me, I'm the only one that doesn't do this. Everybody puts stuff in front of the thing that you're supposed to step on. Now, if I had a free hand, I could lift the lid, but I had trash in my hand. I had some stuff, a couple of plates that I needed to put in the trash can. And I needed to step on it, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm standing looking at the trash can for a good, what seemed like 5 minutes, but it was probably like 30 seconds. And everybody's looking at me, and I'm just looking at people, and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, what?" It's fucking clear. There's a bowl blocking the thing that I need to step on to open the can, and someone needs to fucking move it. That's what. And they're, "Oh, you're just a grump." I'm like, "Nope, nope, I'm not grumpy. I'm just sick of ignorance. I'm not grumpy. I'm not grumpy. Just don't put a fucking bowl in front of the thing that I have to step on. I'm not going to come in with a handful of trash and then put the trash down, move the bowl. No, you are the violator. You have made the gruesome fucking mistake of putting something in front of the lever that has been put there for convenience to step on to open the fucking trash can so I can put my trash in." And then people just look at me and they're like, "You're grumpy. You're old, and you're up. Here comes the grump." And I'm like, "No, I'm not a Bergen. I'm not grumpy. I'm just when someone. I want you to understand this: that there was a man that came up with the wonderful idea of having a lever that you step on the trash can that lifts the lid. This guy was probably an engineer of some kind, spent many years developing it, and then he drew the plans, and then he took the plans to the patent company, and to the United States or whatever, got the patent for it, that went out and sold it to some company so that he can make millions of dollars, and worked his ass off, blood, sweat, and tears, to create a convenience for us so that we could carry multiple paper plates, forks, knives in two hands, walk over to the trash can, step on the lever, have the can open, and then you put the food and you put the paper plates and the forks and everything into the can. But it defeats the purpose of having the lever if you put something in front of it. If I can't step on it, if I can't get clear access, foot access to it, well, then you can't. Then it's useless. It drives me nuts. The kitchen, you can put it anywhere else in the kitchen. This is what what it is. What drives me nuts with people. This is what drives me nuts about people, family members, everybody, is they do things that are counterproductive. It drives me bonkers. There is no need, none whatsoever, to ever block the lever. So and now here we are, we're in the kitchen, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll grab the plates." I grab a couple of paper plates. I grab some things to throw into the trash, and I walk over, my hands are full, and I'm just standing there, and someone says, "Hey, what's up? What's wrong?" And I try, I keep quiet. I'm like, all right, nothing's wrong. Relax, relax. Then another person, what's wrong? And I say, relax, relax. Let's not get upset. No big deal. No big deal. And then so finally I said, I'm like, who put the bowl? I got mad. I go, who put the bowl in front of the lever? I can't step on the lever. And then Kaylee's like, Anthony, would you chill out? I'm like, no, move the fucking bowl. So the bowl gets moved. I put the thing in, and then they call me a grump, and then they tell me I need to apologize for being a dick about the bowl. They say, you know what, you need to apologize. So I said, okay. My apologies are never the best apologies. But I said, oh, you know what, you're right. I am sorry that I got pissed off that some asshole put the bowl in front of the lever. Yes, I'm extremely sorry for the ignorance of the person that put the bowl. No one admitted to it. No one's like, oh, I did it. No one, because no one wants to take the wrath or the blame of dad when dad gets pissed off when stupid things get. It's like when you put, I can't stand when people put shit behind the door. Like you're coming into the house and you can't get into the house because people put shoes or I don't know, maybe they put a bag of groceries there and they were like, oh, I'll move it later. But like 10 minutes after that, someone comes home and they fucking eviscerate the bag of groceries and they get mad at you. And it's like, no, you're not mad at me. The door opens all day long. You open the door, you walk in. If you put something behind it, it's your fault for being a stupid shit for leaving something behind the door. Since the dawn of doors, since doors have been made, you never put something behind the door from the way that it opens. If it opens in, you don't put nothing behind it. If it opens out, you don't put nothing in front of it. Do you get what I'm saying? Since doors were created, when they created a door, the first thing they said, it probably came with a fucking manual for the first idiots that ever had a door and said, hey, here's some good advice with a door. Whatever way the door opens, if it opens into your house, you don't put anything behind it. If it opens out, going out into the world, you don't put anything in front of it. By the way, people have doors that open out that, your screen door has to open out, but if your front door opens out, you're just an asshole. I don't know. I have no it's ridiculous. Quite frankly, it gets in the fucking way. If you're pulling the door open, now the screen door you can, that even drives me nuts. I like the door that goes in. You might like the door that comes out. I like my door to go into the house, not out of the house. But the point of the matter is, I can't stand stupid shit like that. It drives me bonkers. I can't. So, and in my life, I point those things out all the time, and I always get called grumpy. People just like, why are you so grumpy? And I'm like, no, I'm not grumpy. I'm just sick of stupid shit. I'm not grumpy. I'm just done with ignorance. Why am I grumpy? Why can't I just be, hey, I'm so sick and tired of stupid people. So sick and tired, and we're going to get into stupid people because the Democrats here in the United States, fuck the United States, here in Massachusetts, they think you're dumb. They think you're stupid. They think you're the same idiot that's going to put a bowl in front of the lever so that you can open the trash can. They think you're the same idiot that will put food, groceries, or a box or something behind the door so that when you open it, you fucking smash it. And they're probably right because there's a ton of you. There is so many of you idiots. You're just morons. There are so many of you. I can't stand it in my everyday life. Everywhere I go, you people are everywhere. It's mutant city. Everywhere there are mutants all over the place. My whole day, 90% of my day is mitigating the stupid mutant shit that other people do because I do it better. I don't even care. What I do it better. The way I do it is way fucking better than the way you do it, and you do it wrong. Always. Put a bowl. A fucking bowl. You put a bowl, bro. You put a bowl. You fucking put a bowl in front of the trash can, and I can't open it. I can't fucking open the trash can if you put something in front of the lever. I can't. It burns me. You know what else burns me? The fucking dogs in this house, they eat better than me. I get home and they're making fucking rice for the dogs. They're making rice. They make rice. They fucking turkey. They got turkey meat. Turkey meat, bro. You know how much turkey meat is? It's like $6 a pound. Dog's over there eating like a fucking king. And then I come downstairs and he pisses all over the water bottles and he pisses all over this little fucking, I don't know what the hell that thing is. One of Narium's things. I don't even know how we got down here. This dude trots around my house like he's the king. I'm going to buy him a fucking crown. I am. You know what? Do they sell dog crowns? I'm going to buy my dog. I'm going to buy my dog Scout a crown. He's the king of the house. I'm not the king of the house. Scout. All hail. Long live the king. Long live Scout, the king of the house. Fucking dude eats, literally, man, this guy's fucking chomping on fucking rice, chicken, not dog food. You get dog food, bro. Fucking unreal. But I guess I'm a grump. That's it. I'm grumpy. I guess I'm old. I've become an old 40-year-old man that just complains, and it's just gonna get worse. When I'm doing this podcast and I'm like 90 years old, and it's spazzing out assisted living podcast, and I'm living in a nursing home, I'm gonna be a grumpy old dude because I'm gonna be surrounded by morons that it's just everyday life. No matter where you go to the store, you deal with idiots. It's like you got to go into I hate it, man. You got to go into the store and you just want to buy one thing, and you got somebody that's at 7-Eleven doing that's food shopping. You know what I mean? They're like, it's like, bro, you fucking food shopping at 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven should be a 5-item minimum at the Sev, bro. You go in there, you get 5 things, you get the hell out. Period. You got people that go in there and they're food shopping, and it's like, bro, for what you're about to buy right here at 7-Eleven, you can go right down the street to Demoulas and get it half price. But this asshole dad, it's usually a dad. You got this asshole dad who hasn't seen his kids in like fucking 4 months because he's a bum and doesn't have any food. He flies into the 7-Eleven, buys the $10 Captain Crunch that he could have got for $5, buys the fucking $10 bottle of milk, the small carton, gets the shitty eggs and the fucking crap cheese and the bacon. He's like, oh, I'm going to make my kids breakfast. It's like, bro, you probably haven't seen your kids in 5 years because the cook kept them away from you. And now I know why, because you're shopping at 7-Eleven, buying them fucking food for fucking $100 when you could have went to the grocery store. Get the fuck out of my way, bro. I just want a 5-hour energy. All right. Moving on, man. Kaylee's quite. Hon, I'm doing my podcast. Stop it. That's like another thing. I'm like, she knows I'm doing my podcast, and it stopped. It just fucked up my feed. Like unreal. Everybody, we have to hold on. Kaylee had to call the phone, and it fucked up the feed. So now I have to start it over. Hold on, everybody. My God. One sec. All right. For those of you that don't know, this is Spazzing Out. It's America's podcast. And America's podcast is really put together with crap equipment. I have an iPad, my daughter's iPad, in which I record the actual podcast. It's right down here. And I use my iPhone to stream on YouTube. And I use my my other iPad to I'm streaming on what do we got here? Facebook, YouTube on the laptop, and then this is crazy. All right, and then see, now I can't focus because Kaylee's texting me now. Hun, please, just let me finish the podcast and we can talk about it after. Do you guys think that like Joe Rogan, when he's doing his podcast and his wife texts him and his wife calls him and people call and they fuck up the podcast? No. Nope, this shit doesn't happen. Let me finish the podcast, and then you can complain. The podcast doesn't work for anybody. See, it didn't work at night, and now it doesn't work in the morning. It just doesn't work, dude. America's fucking podcast ain't going anywhere, bro. It's staying. All right. Anyways, let's move on from this trash. I can't. Let's get to some topics, and then I got to go to work. This is America's podcast. It's we do it on Facebook. We do it on Twitter. We do it on YouTube. Most people listen on an app. You can get it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartMedia. You can, hey, Alexa, play Spazzing Out, America's podcast. Somewhere around 700 downloads-ish a day when it first uploads. It gets about 700 downloads. It gets more, obviously, after that. And growing, but we need to get more people. So if you would subscribe to one, if you just like watching the show, subscribe, please, because most people don't watch. Not very few actually check in for the live stream when I record. But I need more people to go to one of those landing pages and subscribe to the podcast. You can find most of them anthonypazziali.com and spread the word. We got to get up closer to 2,500 downloads a day to monetize this thing. And it's possible because when we started the podcast back in February, there was like 1 download a day. Now we get 700. It's a slow grind. It's a long build. All right. Massachusetts. We talk about Massachusetts a lot because I'm from Massachusetts. But what happens in Mass really happens in a lot of states. Massachusetts, California are the testing grounds for shitty laws for dumb people. Shitty laws for ignorant people. The same people that, like I said, the 7-Eleven guy or putting a bowl in front of the lever on the can or blocking the door from the inside. You know, morons that text and drive and drink and drive and don't wear seatbelts. Massachusetts is the testing ground for idiots, for dumb laws. We have dumb laws because we have dumb people. So Massachusetts, this is what they don't give you a break. The Democrats here, they do not give you a break. So with Joe Biden, the projected winner of the election, and looks more and more as every day goes by that Biden will be the president of the United States. Please, I don't want to get into the debate on voter fraud and all that shit. I'm on to 2024, bro. I've moved on. So the Democrats, believing that Liz Warren will get some kind of a cabinet position, have already drawn up legislation to block the governor from elevating someone to senator or for selecting someone to senator that is a Republican. They put forth this bill. Now, luckily, it didn't pass. Luckily, there are some Democrats that are like, wait, let's chill out. We tried to screw the voters already. This is the problem with Massachusetts. They don't want to be part of a republic. Massachusetts doesn't want to be part of a republic. Massachusetts doesn't believe in democracy. Massachusetts, straight up, out of all the states in this country, if I ever thought of a state that was like, hey, we believe we're better, we're smarter, the government, and that there's a ruling class, it would be Massachusetts. 100%. They do not, the government, the people that run the government think you're a dumbass. They don't think you can make decisions for yourselves. They don't think you can parent. They don't think you can parent because they're forcing flu shots on your kids, because they don't think you can make an educated decision with your doctor whether or not a flu shot is good for your child. So they tell you, boom, no, you don't, you're fucking getting one. Period. That's what Massachusetts does. So Massachusetts takes it to the next step and says, you know what? We want choice. We want ranked choice voting. Why do we want ranked choice voting? Because you're a stupid fuck, and we can't straight out come out and tell you who we want to win. We really want to pick them, but we can't just do that blatantly because we are in the United States and it's illegal to do that. So we'll set up a system called ranked choice voting so that we actually do pick, but it looks like you picked. Thank God that didn't pass, but it almost did. 48% of you idiots voted in favor of this. 48%. That's resounding to me that almost half the Commonwealth are dumb. My mind is blown because it'll pass next time around. This is what Mass does. Massachusetts has a great history of bringing out laws, the idiot laws, and they just keep putting them on the ballot until they pass. And at 48%, they're not that far away. They're probably like $2-3 million away from getting some people to push over the line and they getting what they want. It's somewhere along the line, right? Government officials got smart. They instead of forcing people to do shit, they convince you and they persuade you. They make you seem like this is a great idea. It's quite like your wife, man. Your wife wants to, instead of getting into an argument with you, your wife wants to go out to eat. Instead of fighting with you, she tries to persuade you. She tries to make it seem like it's good for you. Why? These are the reasons why we're going to go out to eat. She'll convince you that, bro, if you have a wife, their ways of persuasion. And instead of getting into an argument with you, it's a lot easier for them to use whatever they can persuasively to get you to do it and make you feel like you made the decision. I always say this: the best way to get somebody to do something is to make them make the decision. Lead them in that direction. Make them believe they had the control and the power and they made the decision. It's the easiest way to do it instead of fighting with somebody. And that's what the government here in Massachusetts does. They come up and they say, "Oh, ranked choice voting. Look at this. This is great. You're going to vote for 3 people, and the guy that you want to win will win." When in fact, the guy that you want to win will not fucking win. And 48% of you boobs didn't see that. They didn't see it. And then now that Joe Biden's going to be president, they're like, "Oh shit, we have a Republican Democrat who, I mean, yeah, they do have a Republican Democrat. We do have a Republican Democrat as governor because he's a rhino, as they say, Republican in name only." But he will most likely replace Liz Warren with a senator that is a Republican. And I mean, it's not like it's going to be for a long time because here in Massachusetts, back when Mitt Romney was the governor and John Kerry was running for president, and it looked like he might have had a shot to win, they passed a law to have a special election sooner than the way it used to work in Massachusetts is if someone got elevated to being a senator, they would cover the rest of the current term. And then when Mitt Romney was governor, they said, "Ah, fuck that. We're going to change that. We're going to have a special election in 160 days." And in Massachusetts, people were just like, "That's just a waste of money." It came down to like a monetary thing. The reason that they didn't do it is special elections cost a lot of money. So they were just like, "Hey, you know what? We'll wait till the next election cycle." And it just happens organically, and the same money is the same money. No big deal. And it was no big deal because you typically had Democratic governors here in the Commonwealth, and the senator that got picked was another, what? Democrats, so it's no big deal. But as soon as it's a Republican governor and they're going to appoint their Republican senator, they're like, "Oh, can't happen." So they changed the laws, and they did when Mitt Romney was governor. But this time around, it got shut down. This time around, the Democrats, some of the Democrats stepped up and were like, "All right, we can't blatantly, we can't just blatantly fuck the people in Massachusetts. We do it already, but we can't do this one. We're going to have a special election. No big deal. It'll be 160 days out, and we will get our Democratic, our Democratic senator." The problem that they don't want the Republican one is that for 160 days, Senate will be stacked because it's already looking like it's going to be 51-50. And then if Liz Warren gets elevated to, I don't know, Secretary of State or Secretary of the Treasury for a couple of months, you're going to have a 52, you know what I mean, to what, 48 swing in favor of Republicans. So it just all comes down to they think you're an ass. What we say doesn't matter in Massachusetts. It's never been more true. I don't like the fact that any state is a winner-take-all state when it comes to the Electoral College, because it makes your vote not count. They should do it the way it is that you vote county to county. I just wish my vote counted. That I'm never going to move from Mass. I mean, I'm probably going to move to Florida when I get older. If I didn't have a son up here, I'd probably move to Florida already. The things that they got going on down there, I love the governor, Ron DeSantis. He's going to probably run for president in 2024. And if he continues on the path of righteousness and great righteousness, I love that, and greatness down in Florida with the laws that he's trying to pass, this guy will have my vote in a heartbeat. Or at least he should get, hopefully he'll run for Senate in Florida someday and move on. But just in general, beware of these things here in Massachusetts. Keep your eye on the "you're a moron" type laws where they try to act like it's better for you and you buy into it. You're like, "Oh, this does sound pretty good." Or maybe you're a Democrat and you're like, "You know what? Yes, here's what they wanted to do." The bill that went through the other day, but it didn't pass. The Democrats wanted to block Governor Baker from sending a Republican to the Senate if Liz Warren or Ed Markey got picked in the cabinet. What they wanted to make it was that it goes with the same party, meaning if the former senator was a Democrat, you have to pick a Democrat. If the former senator was a Republican, you have to pick a Republican. And the way the Democrats put it is, well, this is what we voted for. This is what the people voted for. We voted for a Democrat. We would like you to put a Democrat in. So that's where they're going. They're trying to twist it to make it seem like, this is what you want. And the people on our side, we say, well, no, we voted for Charlie Baker. And the reason that we voted for Charlie Baker is that he would make educated decisions in times of vacancies to put the right people in the position to lead until an election. So it works on either side. You can't just say on your side, people's votes are disenfranchised, but on our side, they're not. So cut the crap. We have the law in place. The governor, per the Constitution of Massachusetts, the governor picks for the vacancy. He's going to put who he wants fucking up in there. And it's going to be for 160 days. You'll have a stupid election, and you guys will get your Democrat back. It'll be done, unless, of course, your Democrat, it shows her true colors, because this is what you Democrats are, you limousine liberals that are just not in touch with the working class man, that you can't even shake hands in the rain with your constituents. I don't know if you guys remember that years ago when Scott Brown. So years ago there was a seat, maybe it was Ted Kennedy's seat. Ted Kennedy I think it was Ted Kennedy. Ted Kennedy passed away. His seat became. You know what? I don't know if it was Ted Kennedy's seat or if it was Jim Carrey. Fucking Jim Carrey. Fucking Senator Jim Carrey in Massachusetts. I don't know if it was John Kerry's seat or if it was Ted Kennedy's seat. I can't remember. But one of either Kennedy had died or John Kerry was done and would become Secretary of the State. Either way, a seat became vacant and there had to be an election. And Scott Brown was running against, oh my God, she was the Attorney General, Martha, whatever the fuck her name was. Anyways, she didn't want to shake hands. Why can't I think of her name, man? Oh my God. Oh, maybe it was Kerry. Someone help me out here. Whoever he was running against, she didn't shake hands. She was at Fenway or something, and it was raining out, and she wouldn't want to shake hands with people, and people got offended by it. And of course they would. But Scott Brown did the working class man thing. This guy drove around in his pickup truck, and he was wearing boots and jeans and Carhartt jacket, and it hit a chord with the working class people here in Massachusetts, so they voted for him. Martha Coakley, thank you. So Martha Coakley wouldn't go out and shake hands with people, and it pissed people off. Perception is reality. She let you see, the fucking Wizard of Oz is like, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Well, that's the Democrats. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, because when you pull the curtain, you have a class of people, the Democrats, that think they're better than you, that think they're smarter than you, that we don't want to shake hands with you peasants. Like, working class people, please stay the fuck away from me. But in out in public, they have to act like they like you. They're like, oh yes, let's talk to the working class people, but they think you're stupid. They think you're stupid. They sit there and it's all they can do to have a conversation with the working class person, because they just think you're a bum. They have no respect for the guy that is a concrete specialist. Concrete's not the easiest job in the world, and there is a lot of smarts that go in to building a foundation. Sure, that they make it look easy. They snap a line, they level that fucking sucker off. But bro, these houses, they last for hundreds of years. It's a lot of thought goes into it. They just make it look easy, but they don't want to take the time to talk to a guy who drags concrete. They don't want to hear from a guy who, wet that thing up to a 6 to get it to flow to the other side of the house. They don't want to talk to you. They're like, you do what? The demo? They don't want to hear from the demo. Like, this guy does. You do demo? Well, nice to meet you. They don't care about you. They don't. They act like they do, and then they pass laws contrary to that. They pass laws because they believe that they're your mother, they believe that they're your father, and they have to make decisions for morons that work labor. That's how they feel. They look at you and they're like, oh, you do labor? Oh, don't worry, we got you. We'll vote for you. We'll vote for you. We'll tell you what to eat and what to wear and how to shave and all that. So don't worry about it. They look at you straight up like the way we look at retards. They like, and I said it, retards. So they're like, you got a retard across the street and you look at them, you're like, oh man, this poor guy. And you look and And you have that look at them like you feel bad. You're like, oh man, I can't imagine. Which the fucked up thing about it is, I've always said this. People who have Down syndromes, they look like the happiest people I've ever met. And they seem so fucking happy. And you have ignorant assholes that look at them with disdain. I'm like, dude, I wish I was a fucking sped. These people look like they have the life. They don't worry about a fucking thing. They're high fives all day long. I want to be high fives all day long. And people, but that's how Democrats look at the working class people. They're like, oh, the bus? No, you're going to get on the bus? Ugh. The kid, they get pissed. You think it's like back when John Kerry to pull through a fucking Wendy's or something in his limo, and then he threw the shit out. Oh yeah, I gotta seem like I care about the American people. Let me eat some of that disgusting Wendy's. You know nothing. They know nothing of our struggle or our smarts. There are a ton. You know what? Most people that labor or that are middle class workers are some of the most intelligent people I know. Not only are they intelligent, they think quick on their feet, real quick, and they come up with ideas on job sites that you can't even imagine. They have little techniques to do certain things that someone that works in Congress would have no clue. They'd have no clue what to do, or they wouldn't even attempt to do it. Their head would fucking spin. And then you know what it's like? It's quite like Armageddon. It's quite like Armageddon. People look at the middle class like Bruce Willis. They're like, oh, you're going to get some middle class bum to come in here and save the world. But it's the middle class guy that thinks on his feet and can come up with a plan to drill into a fucking asteroid and save the world. Because we're the smartest. We deal on the day-to-day shit, real world problems every day. Every day, the middle class guy is solving real world problems every single day. They might be small, but every day we're coming up with unique ways to stop problems, and the government thinks you're a boob. They think you're a boob, and it drives me insane that they think that they have the power to try to pass legislation to force a governor to pick their party, to say, nope, you have to pick our party. You have to do what we say. That's why they wanted ranked choice voting, because they don't want you to pick. They want to pick. And that's why they wanted to try to force the governor to say, hey, if Liz Warren gets a job in the cabinet, if Ed Markey gets a job in the cabinet, if one of our congressmen, I just almost pulled my own biggest mistake, if one of our representatives that are in the House gets a job in the cabinet, we want to force you to pick who we want. We want to force you to pick someone in the same party. And then their reason for that is, well, the people in Massachusetts all voted for a Democrat. You have to pick a Democrat. But then they just turn their back on the fact that the people in Massachusetts put a Republican governor in power for the same reason we voted for him. So what? Our vote doesn't count. The fact that we picked the governor because we think that he has the ability to govern and pick people to cover vacancies, and you can't wait 160 days for a special election, which is bullshit anyways, because it's a waste of money. It's a waste of taxpayers' funds to have a special election. You should just wait until the term's up and then do it. That's not enough for you guys? They just think you're dumb. They think you're stupid. Just you guys pick them. Well, please, I would much more appreciate government on both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrat, if you just fucking did it. Just came out and say, hey, you know what? We're sick of lying. Like they just came out like an exhausted, someone who's just exhausted from the BS. And they just came out and said, you know what? I'm just so exhausted from buffaloing you guys. Here's the truth. We're going to pick, and that's it. Just come right out and say it. We're so sick and tired of they literally, Congress is the one lie leads to another commercial. One lie leads to another. Two lies, oh brother. That's like the government, dude. They're up there. They got their fucking liar pants on fire, and they're getting tired of it. So I'd rather them just come right out and say, hey, listen, we're done lying to you. We're gonna pick who we think the educated people are. We're just gonna do it. We don't need your help anymore. Go back. They'll look at you and discuss it. All right, bro. Go back to your concrete job. What are you doing today? You're going to load trucks with junk? All right, bro. Go back to your junk job. We got this. Oh, they give you a little pat on the back, back like they used to. Like, kid, I'm telling you. It's like what they did with the fucking Tods. They give you a little pat on the ass. Like, oh, look at how cute he is. Okay, go ahead. You go. Go now. Go ahead. Oh, Anthony, go ahead. Oh, look at it. So cute. He's going to go load a truck. He has no thoughts in his brain. He's a moron. Go ahead. Oh, that's what they do. So just be honest. I'd rather you just straight up honestly say, hey, we think you're an idiot. We're going to make laws because you're mutants, and that's it. And if you don't like it, beat it. And the reason that I know they do this is we don't have term limits. Plain and simple. If there were ever a time in this country that we needed term limits on the people that govern us, now is the time. The turnover, you just in Massachusetts, when you win some kind of a seat, it's perennial. You get it until you don't want it anymore. That needs to stop. The BS needs to stop. We need term limits. And someone asked me yesterday, how do we go about getting term limits? You don't. You can't. Period. It will never happen. That is like asking someone to put a cap on their job. These people are career politicians. They're not going to put they're not going to vote for term limits ever. Never ever ever will they ever vote in favor of term limits because they want to be in politics for 50, 60 years. They want to govern you for their entire life. Again, they want to give you the perception that you are in charge. They want to give you the perception that you have a say in who you elect, when in fact you don't, because if they did, they'd have term limits. Term limits. They would say, hey, we're going to be here for, if we're a senator, we're going to do 2 terms, 12 years at most. And if you're in the House of Representatives, you do 4 terms, 8 years at most, or maybe even 5, right? Give them 10 years. Give them a chance to really get something done. And then you're done. But that will never happen. And the path for that to happen is really, it would have to be a constitutional amendment. You'd have to get 2/3. You'd have to get, please think about that. You need to get 2/3 of the people that would lose. These people would be losing. They'd be voting to lose their job. It will never happen. That no one on this planet would ever vote 2/3 to give up their job. But then from there, you could go to the state, right? State legislators, 3/4 could say it, but they're not going to say it because they want to be congressmen someday. So it will never happen. You will never, ever get term limits. The only thing you can do is vote them out, but they're trying to keep you from voting them out by having systems like ranked choice voting, by having systems where the governors can't promote their own party. They have to promote your party. They've basically just rigged the system on both sides so that they get to pick. It's a class. It's a royalty class. It's insane. All right, guys, I got to go. I got to go to work. Everybody's mad at me in my house. I'm just a grump. Please do me a favor. If you didn't listen to the beginning of the podcast, a little word of advice. If you have a trash can at your house and it has a lever that you step on so that the lid goes up so you can put the trash in, that nice little convenient lever, don't block it with something. Don't put something in its way so that you can easily go over there and you can step on it and the lid will go up and you can put your trash in. That's my tip of the day. Thank you for listening to Spazzing Out, America's podcast. Have a good day. Let's get this started. Just because it's Friday doesn't mean I'm going to be any more happier than I normally am, which in general, I don't think I'm ever that happy. Last night, my